Loneliness is a timeless thing, tragically. Stoicism is founded in a moment of loneliness. Zeno loses everything in a shipwreck. Seneca's best writings come from exile when he's sent far away from the people that he loves. Marcus Aurelius is the most powerful man in the world, but also by the very nature of his power and responsibility and fame, he was isolated. He was lonely, just as you might be today. Life is warfare and a journey far from home. That's one of the most moving lines in Marcus Aurelius' meditation. He didn't just mean that figuratively. He spent most of his reign at war. At one point he was gone from Rome for 7 or 8 years. He was gone from his family a lot. He was lonely a lot. His job, most powerful man in the world, was inherently isolating and lonely. I'm Ryan Holiday. I've written a bunch of books about Stoic philosophy. I've been lucky enough to speak about it to the NBA and the NFL, sitting senators and special forces leaders. I'm across the country right now in Las Vegas. I just gave a talk. I'm missing putting my kids to bed tonight. Loneliness is a real thing. And in today's episode, I want to talk about some Stoic strategies for dealing with loneliness, not just the loneliness of being gone, although that's a big part of it, but the loneliness of feeling disconnected from other people, the loneliness of the modern world. These are things that the Stoics have a lot of wisdom to share with us, and I want to share that with you. There's a famous Stoic story. Cleanthes is walking down the streets in Athens, and he hears this man talking to himself, criticizing himself, berating himself. And Cleanthes stops him and he says, remember, you're not talking to a bad person. I think one of the things that loneliness does, it's this sort of vicious cycle where because we're away from people, we don't feel good about ourselves. Because we don't feel good about ourselves, we isolate from other people. This Stoic idea of being kind to yourself, being a friend to yourself, it not just lessens the burden of that loneliness, but it also makes it more possible for you to put yourself back out there. I just like the idea of Cleanthes walking up to someone who's clearly lonely, who's clearly not having a good time, who's clearly very hard on themselves, and like a brother, like a friend, reaching out and just saying something to him. I like that, but I also like what he actually said. The message there, I think, when we are down in those depths, when we're in dark places, and when we do feel disconnected from people, we have to remember that we're not bad people, and how we talk to ourselves matters. And the decision to treat yourself like shit is not a good decision. There's a line by the band The Head and the Heart, and something like, until you learn to love yourself, that door is locked to someone else, which I think is beautifully said. Like, if you don't think you're worthy of friendships or relationships or connection or love, how is anyone else gonna see that in you, right? So it starts by realizing you're not talking to a bad person. You're not a bad person. It starts with, as Seneca says, being a better friend to yourself. You might think that the Stoics are kind of these unfeeling people, and I get that, but it's actually not true at all. Seneca says, look, if you want love in your life, he says, then love. Marcus Aurelius says that he learns from one of his mentors to be free of passions, yes, but full of love. Do you have affection for other people? If you want to feel good, if you want to be loved by other people, it's about what you put out in the world. As the Beatles say, it's about the energy you put out in the world, because ultimately that's what you control. If you want to feel better, don't go expecting other people to validate you, other people to give you what you want. Give what you want. Marcus Aurelius says, if you want to feel good, do good. If you want to feel loved, put love out in the world, put affection out in the world. See everyone you meet, as Seneca says, as an opportunity to practice kindness, and the rest will take care of itself, I promise. Most of the exercise that I do is very solitary. I like running, I like swimming. I suffer by myself, which is great. That's how I like to do it. But there is also something special about suffering with other people, doing hard things with other people, right? Seneca talks about doing this cold plunge to start the new year. There's things that have existed for hundreds of years, polar bear clubs, where everyone gets together and they do something really hard and challenging with each other. One of the best ways to find community is around the things that you struggle to do by yourself, right? CrossFit gyms, great communities, martial arts, great communities, races or physical challenges, Spartan races. Doing really hard things with other people is a way to pull people together. There's a great line from Marcus Aurelius where he says, we're like soldiers storming a wall. So what if you slip and you have to ask a comrade for help? Nothing helps you realize that you're all in something together when it's something that each of you is struggling to do by yourself. So I think facing discomfort is great generally. Facing discomfort with other people is how you quickly become a member of a tribe. People at the rock bottom, when they need help, when they are struggling, coming together and learning how to be part of an organization that isn't a top-down organization, we're gonna tell you what to do, but a collective, a community-driven organization where you're all coming together and you're getting comfort from each other as you do uncomfortable things together. Very little is needed for a happy life, according to the Stoics. Musonius Rufus, one of the great Stoics, he's exiled 4 times. And what does he learn losing everything? He learns how much he was taking for granted. Yes, he misses Rome. He doesn't like being far away, but he reminds himself, did I actually experience Rome while I was there? What do I actually need to be happy? He says, I need a little bit of food. I need water. I need sunshine. He sort of noticed that he's like one of those people that lives in New York City and brags about all its amenities, but he never took advantage of them. And he realized that actually the simple life was better. The simple life was more philosophical, and that he needed very little to be happy, and that what he had was enough. I was talking earlier about how Marcus Aurelius said that, like, we're soldiers storming a wall, you have to be able to ask for help. He says, so what if you ask for help? I think this is really important, especially, again, when we're lonely, when we're struggling, when we feel like we can't do something, when we feel like we're out of our element or whatever. You have to be able to ask for help. There's a book I like to read my kids called The Boy, the Fox, the Horse, and the Mole. And he says something like, asking for help isn't giving up, it's refusing to give up. Whether you just got out of the military, you just moved across the country, you were part of some group, you were part of a community, and now that's not there. Now you're struggling. You were in a marriage, that marriage fell apart. You've gotten clean recently, and your old friends, your old habits, they don't work anymore. That's gonna require adjustment and change. It takes a lot of courage to ask for help, but you have to be able to do that. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. And help doesn't mean, hey, I need you to do all this stuff for me. It could be like, hey, I'm going to do this thing. Do you want to come with me? I would appreciate it if you came with me. Asking for help, reaching out, putting yourselves out there. You know, courage isn't just like what you do in a military campaign. Courage isn't just betting your life on some big idea. Courage is also saying, I don't know how to do something, saying, I don't think I know how to do something, saying, I need help to do something. It's a mistake if we conflate Stoicism with solitariness, with independence, with a lack of connection, with an inability to ask for help. In fact, the Stoics would tell you to be brave enough to do that very thing. You get this sense that Marcus Aurelius was a homebody. And, you know, he says in Meditations, you don't need to go on vacation. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to go do anything. You can get peace by retreating inside yourself. And that's something I remind myself when I feel, not just myself longing for stuff, but even when I go do stuff, which has been a little bit weird now that we're sort of coming out of COVID. You know, I go, look, you don't need to go do something awesome. You don't need to go somewhere exotic. You don't need to go do something cool. You don't even need to go see other people to get excitement, to get fulfillment or nourishment. You can have that inside. You can have that by having a conversation with yourself. You can have that by reflection. You can have that by study. You don't have to go out and do it. You can call someone on the phone. I'm not saying this to say don't be social. What I'm saying is we tell ourselves that it's going and doing things that we'll find fulfillment and meaning in, but that's not true. We carry ourselves with us wherever we're going, and so if we want it, we can get it from ourselves. I'm not saying that every single problem in your life can be solved by going for a walk. I'm just saying there's almost no problem in your life that can be made worse by going for a walk. And you may well solve your problem, even if just because going for the walk calms you down or distracts you. But look, I would just say, whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're upset about, whatever you're worried about, whatever is vexing your mind or racing through your head, go for a walk. Put the body in motion, let the mind relax for a minute. You'll be amazed at what might happen. And look, the very worst thing that can happen is that you got outside, you saw the sunrise or the sunset, you saw the clouds, you saw the stars. It doesn't matter. You got outside, you got active. You're better for that. And I think it will probably make a difference, whatever you're dealing with. I hope you like this video. I hope you subscribe. But what I really want you to subscribe to is our daily Stoic email.
one bit of Stoic wisdom totally for free to the largest community of Stoics ever in existence. You can sign up at dailystoic.com/email. There's no spam. You can unsubscribe at any time. I love sending it. I've sent it every day for the last 6 years, and I hope to see you there at dailystoic.com/email.